All right, who is ready for the economic development, commercial real estate, and business news of the week?
Everyone.
And that includes you, Trenton. So let's go ahead and do it. It's brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. You hear about Holly Schneiderwind on KFA periodically. Scott Voorhees talks about Holly and her team at Eagle Mortgage. They do such a great job of taking care of people who are going to make a huge investment, buying a new house. It can be stressful, you know. I mean, some of you have bought houses and some of you maybe haven't, but will. Either way, it's a big deal. And if you are thinking about buying a house, go meet with Eagle Mortgage. You want to get a pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage, and that way you know what you're qualified for. And it's like a weapon and a shield you can take into battle with you as you're searching for the great house for you and your family. It doesn't matter whether you're going to go conventional or FHA, VA, USDA. They do all of those. And you can find them in person at 114th and Davenport or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. All right, let's start off with a few things we have going on this week. Number one, we have good news for travelers. United Airlines is bringing back nonstop flights from Omaha Eppley Airport to San Francisco International Airport. Trenton, these were canceled back during the pandemic. You recall in 2020 when air traffic fell off the cliff, a lot of those nonstop routes just went away overnight, and they are slowly trickling back. And this Omaha to San Francisco was one of the last ones to come back. So they're going to kick it off on September 7th, which is this week. And you'll be able to fly nonstop. Now,
that's great.
There originally were 2 daily nonstops to and from San Francisco. The plan is to start off with 1 initially and then get back to having the full 2. I think at like about January or something like that is when the other ones will come back into play. And so that's always good to kind of get the air traffic stuff going. All right, next thing on the docket, we've talked so much in the last half year about the W. Dale Clark Library and the fact that it's going to be torn down and the skyscraper that will replace it. Well, guess what? It's finally closed. It is now officially and finally closed. And so now the process of moving everything is underway. The temporary replacement location on Howard Street near 14th is open, but it's small. Eventually, the new downtown branch will be at 1401 Jones Street, and the administrative distribution operation going out to 84th and Frederick.
I actually walked through the old Shopco at 84th Frederick Square. We've got a couple new tenants coming in there as well, in addition to the library, distribution and administration, archives. They're making good progress in there. They've got a lot of new walls up in there, plumbing and HVAC, so they're well on their way. Noddle Companies is spearheading that effort on both locations, and I don't think there's any pro-brutalist movement that are chaining themselves to the old W. Dale Clark Library saying, we need to keep this architecture around. This is the most...
They're not going to chain themselves. They might duct tape themselves, but that's not quite as much of a commitment as chaining yourselves.
That's true. But that is brutalist architecture, ladies and gentlemen. Hard to believe it didn't stick.
Brutalist looking building, I can tell you that much. Can't wait for that thing to start coming down in early October. Absolutely. Boom. I'm sure
it's going to be like boom, boom. All right, boom. More boom.
In other words, slowly going down by wrecking ball.
Yeah.
I tell you, it is always a disappointment anytime a building doesn't come down by implosion. But hey, we'll get rid of it any way we can to make way for a really sweet building.
I think the neighbors prefer wrecking ball.
Yeah, just ask any longtime Omahans. Remember Frankie Payne? Remember that was the old Campbell Soup TV dinner.
Yeah,
and they came down.
It was called Door. It was an out-of-town firm,
and they said, "Oh no, don't worry, this will be fine." Yeah. And the implosion
during this
slid into the.
What was that? 2 years that you could see his TV and all his contents and everything. I think he had the right to be upset. But I think he was well compensated for his
I hope so.
pain and suffering, and he deserved it. But it sat
No,
there forever.
he deserved the compensation, not the pain and suffering.
Oh, good
just
point.
to clarify.
Okay, yeah, good point. Good point.
Just to clarify.
Just to clarify. But I remember that thing was there for months, if not a year or two.
Yeah, that was crazy. And people who were around downtown in those days know exactly what we're talking about. Everyone else is probably like, what the hell are they talking about?
It's kind of like John Belushi in Animal House when he tore apart that guitar against the wall, slammed against the wall. He's like, sorry.
Kind of like that, yeah. Well, the Sarpy County Chamber is going to hold a ribbon cutting in a few weeks, September 21st, for the Echo Park Apartments. This is a newly constructed complex at 7561 South 146th Street. Translated to English, that's 144th and I think it's Echo Parkway or Echo, something like that.
That really helps everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's just above, well, you know where the Tornado Car Wash is on 140? It's south of that. Everyone knows where that is because that was the one that was damaged by the tornado several years ago. And
That's why they changed it to Tornado Car Wash.
And they renamed it Tornado Car Wash, yeah. So anyway, this will be a 280-unit complex, 2,400 square feet of retail space. So there's that. Hey, we always talk about tax increment financing, and so many projects get it. It makes it possible, or at least a lot more likely that we can build projects in certain parts of town, or projects can be nicer than they would otherwise be without tax increment financing. Well, sometimes projects get tax increment financing and they don't happen. And so it's kind of interesting. The city council voted just this past week to rescind TIF, tax increment financing, for a few projects that had been approved for it that never happened. One was the apartment. Remember that apartment building that was going to be at 72nd and Center?
Yeah, with the pool on top. And
all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that was one of them. So apparently that's gone. And then another one was a conversion of an office building at 15th and Howard into apartments. I think on the ground floor, if I remember correctly, there had been like a copy center or a printing business or something like that. It's just southeast of the Orpheum and was supposed to turn into apartments. And apparently that's not going to happen. And then another one was an empty building near 14th and Jones Street.
I think
so. Not everything works out,
but I think that TIF should automatically have 2 years or something. I understand markets and pandemic was unique and things like that, but I don't blame the city council. You can't have unlimited time to keep your tax increment financing status.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure there are some sort of allowances for that, but I'm not terribly familiar with the rules and regulations. So let's talk about Costco. For the last year, everyone was talking about Costco at 180th and Maple, Costco at 180th and Maple. And for the last couple of months, it appeared to us that it was real. And now we have confirmation because Costco is going to be coming before the planning board this week.
Southeast corner of 180th and West Maple Road.
This will be the biggest Costco around, and so much bigger than the other two. Currently Costco is at 123rd and Dodge, and good luck trying to go there. I refuse to go to that place because the parking lot is so hard to deal with.
Especially when Chick-fil-A's open.
The two of those together can be rough, especially at Chick-fil-A lunchtime. So at any rate, when I go to Costco, which is not very often because I'd rather pluck my fingernails out than go to Costco, but I hate going to Costco, but my wife goes there and we like the stuff we get at Costco.
So you go to the other one.
My wife goes to the other one. And if I ever have to go with her, I always insist on the La Vista location. Anyway, this one will relieve the 123rd and Dodge location. It's still not for sure 100% done deal. It's got to go through the proper hoops of city government, but it will. And so 3 Costco's in the area.
Well, there's also that, Jerry Selesky and I in a group developed 168th to 170th and 77th and West Maple, that Walmart. We started that in 98 and developed 149 acres. But
and the project called the Thompson Mile.
The Thompson Mile. And on the north side, Dillon Brothers Harley Davidson as well, and all the other motorcycles there. But also, you've got Fleet Farm coming, which is about 183rd, 184th.
Yeah, it's just a few blocks west of where the future Costco will be.
And then there's rumors, and I repeat, these are rumors. There's talks about a Sam's Club. We're breaking it right here, right now. I don't have concrete proof, but a Sam's Club just to the east of
Fleet Fleet Farm. But
and,
west of the proposed Costco.
Yeah, so that's 3 big retailers that could go on that corridor.
Which is interesting even if that one doesn't turn out to be true, just getting Costco and Fleet Farm, who are both massive box retailers on the same corridor, is kind of a big deal these days because you don't see a lot of big box retail construction anymore. It wasn't too many years ago in which there was a Super Target or a Best Buy under construction practically on every intersection. Well, that's no longer the case these days. So to have all those big boxes going in brand new on Maple is pretty cool. And then for a lot of people that have not been in a Fleet Farm, I poked my head into one once in, I think it was Rapid City, South Dakota. It's quite a store and huge. I mean, might even be bigger than a Costco. I don't know. They're pretty big.
It'll be neat. They cover everything. People compare it to a Menards versus
a little bit of like ag store versus a little bit of, like maybe a hint of a Cabela's type thing. It's just got a lot of stuff. It's kind of cool. They're out of the upper Midwest, maybe that Wisconsin, Minnesota area, I believe.
The reason I'm looking at my phone is I'm waiting for confirmation on whether I can disclose what's going next to Costco, your favorite Costco, and Chick-fil-A. We've got a new breaking development, but I'm waiting for confirmation from someone that can give me proof.
Where is there room for that? Oh, is that like right north of where the Panera is?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that would be kind of interesting. We'll have to see if you get permission for that. But at least we can tell people that something is going there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Hey, one last thing in the news. In 3 weeks, we're going to be doing a live remote from the brand new REI store that's going to be opening in Nebraska Crossing. The official first day of opening will be Friday, September 23rd. Our show will broadcast live Saturday morning, September 24th. But this is kind of cool. Right now, Nebraska Crossing and REI are giving away a 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness. Couple things. Number one, if you want to register to have a chance to win this Subaru Outback Wilderness, simply go to the Grow Omaha newsletter. You can get it at growomaha.com, click on Market Report, and when you're reading the retail and restaurant section, there's a link there where you can go ahead and enter to win the Subaru Outback Wilderness. But here's the cool thing. We're going to announce the winner on the show, live from the brand new REI store on the 24th.
Somebody tells me our listenership is going to be up that day.
Something also tells me that you and I are not eligible to win the Subaru Outback since we're doing this. So we'll have to be stuck with our own cars.
All right, I got it.
Okay, here it goes. Breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, this just in from high above Underwood Avenue. Tommy's Express has got clearance for going right to the north of the Panera, right next to Costco, will be a beautiful red, shiny Tommy's Express. There's one beautiful one open today at 180th and West Dodge, and this will be, I think, the 4th one that'll be open. There'll be many more, but there's one that's opening any minute now at 84th and Highway 370, and they've been working on this very hard, and it'll open. It'll be built right next to Costco.
We end the news of the week with breaking news so fresh that Trenton just got permission to say it less than 30 seconds ago. Tommy's Express coming to the area west of Chick-fil-A and north of Panera by the West Dodge Costco. And that's your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. Thank you, Eagle Mortgage, for making this possible. You can find out more about them at eaglemortgagecompany.com.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.